who was convicted of arms dealing charges in the US, has been handed over to Moscow. And that's in exchange for American basketball star Brittney Griner, who was sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison for drug trafficking. Moscow had been pushing for Bout's release for years, but Washington had declined to consider the move until now. Well, let's discuss this with Russian lawmaker Maria Butina, who helped negotiate the swap deal. Maria, thank you very much for joining us. Well, I guess for us it's short notice, but I guess this was expected for you. Can you just tell us a little bit about the details of the agreement, how difficult it was to broker, and about the significance of it, please?
Well, you can see how difficult it was now in the geopolitical situation and how the United States treats Russia today and Russian citizens. Me personally have survived through 1.5 years of the US prison, being found guilty without guilt. So I do understand what it means. However, I should say that what Viktor Bout has suffered through is unbelievable for so many years. However, his wife, Alla, I just talked to her. She has been a wonderful wife all these years. She has stayed next to her husband despite of his imprisonment. They have been talking over the phone, and she was writing letters and supporting him, and she is a great mother. So because of the Russian position, that we never give up our people and we will always fight for every Russian, he is now coming home. It's an incredible happiness for me because I guess it's an exchange despite all of their obstacles that the United States has been doing for years and years for this poor family.
Well, talking of years and years, Moscow's been trying to persuade Washington to carry out such a deal for years. What do you make of the timing of Viktor Bout's release today? Can you read anything into that for us?
Well, I do believe it's just step by step. It means that Russia was pushing hard all these days and years, and finally they negotiated a deal, and it's a great victory for Russian diplomacy. And thanks to their hard and stable position of our president, Vladimir Putin, it all became real. And don't forget, like a couple of months ago, there was another swap with Viktor Yaroshenko, who has been jailed in the United States for more than 10 years, and he is home too. There are two of these guys who have been their symbol of, whatever they try to make of Russia, like Russian evil or something, evil empire. And now these people are home. They're going to be with their families. I just wish them happy life and try to forgive, I guess, as a Christian, but never forget as a human being.
Well, given the current state of geopolitics, Maria, what does it say that despite relations between Russia and the US being at the lowest they've been for decades, that the two countries can still agree, even on a prisoner swap like this?
Well, I wish I would say that it's because both countries just are they just value human lives, but I do believe it's Russian position because it has been for years. We have been trying to take our people back for years, and the United States was the side who has been saying that we don't want this, and we want them just to show everybody that we have these evil Russians and look at them. It's horrible. It's like a witch hunt. So I became a victim of a witch hunt, and therefore today, why it's possible? Well, I believe because Russians were pushing hard, and that means that we have a very strong position in the world that the United States cannot resist.
Well, you touched upon, your personal experience just there in your answer. What was it like, being part of such a prisoner swap deal?
Well, I wasn't a part of the swap deal. However, my country did everything, so I came back home, not in 15 years, as the United States was trying to leave me behind the bars for, but in 1.5 years. Though I went through 4 months of solitary confinement, sleepless nights for more than a month, and for people undressing me over and over again through horrible tortures. So I'm so sorry for what Viktor has been through, and you barely can be back to the normal life after what the United States does with its prisoners. However, I believe that love brought me back, the love of my family, and I'm sure that his wife, Ella, and the child, and his mom, they're gonna surrender to the love passion that is going on around the family, and they're gonna love him so much. So he will recover, I hope.
Well, you yourself have obviously been through quite a harrowing experience in the US, as you just described, unimaginable for most people. Can you describe to us and to our viewers what you felt when you first landed back on home territory? What did it feel like, and what did you do the first day?
I felt freedom, just freedom. I can go right or left. I can make my choice. I see my motherland, and I just don't want to go anywhere in the world. I just want to be home. I has been, fighting so hard to get home, and I know what does it mean, real home, real family, because my country, my motherland, never gives up on us, on the Russians, wherever we are, whatever happened.
Have you managed to come to terms with your ordeal, Maria? You mentioned Viktor Bout forgiving the US for the imprisonment. Have you managed to do that? And you've managed to come to terms and move on from what you went through?
I don't hate American people, and that's what I wish for Viktor Bout to come through the hate because it's unjust. It's unjust. However, I understand that there is government and there are people, and people they're not evil. But what the government, the United States government does with the Russians, with its own people. Look, I have been around all the blacks. Like, there are only 13% black people in the United States. How they managed all to be in jails, the majority, it means that there is injustice and there is that discrimination going on. So I just do believe that the United States should change its policy.
Well, Maria Boutna, Russian lawmaker, thank you very much for breaking down the details of that prisoner swap deal, as well as sharing your personal experiences of incarceration in the US. It's been a pleasure to have you on the programme this evening.
Thank you.